Hello, everyone. I'm going to actually say hello on the chat too. Hello. All right, there we go. I realized last time I wasn't paying enough attention to what was going on in my chat. So, in case anybody wants to chat, I am happy to answer questions and see what y'all are all about. So, today we're going to talk about something that I think is very realistic. When you decide to engage in a positive way of thinking and you want to only talk about things that are positive, you're going to come up against people who don't understand. They will not agree with you. They want to talk about things that are negative. They want to talk about things that are quote unquote realistic, and they want you to face reality with them. So there's probably the number one hottest topic that everyone can argue about and say, we need to be realistic about it. We need to be scared about it. We need to be worried about it. And I think you know where I'm going with this, but in case you don't, I'll tell you. Drum roll, please. Politics. Right? Think about it. That's the easiest place for anybody to get upset. It's the easiest place for anyone to have an opinion and entrench and think that they're right and you're wrong, and there's only one point of view. What manifesting bliss is all about is what Abraham Hicks calls the art of allowing. The art of allowing is probably the most difficult concept for people to wrap their heads around, because it means you have to take ultimate responsibility for what you say and do, your choices, and you have to allow everyone else on the planet to do the same thing. It's really hard to do that at first. It means that when people have things going on in their lives and they want to search for someone to blame, you don't participate in that. You might not want to challenge people at first, but as you get more comfortable with taking responsibility for every single aspect of your own life, the tendency when you talk to others and you listen to others would be, well, isn't that your fault? Well, didn't you do that to yourself? Well, wasn't there another way to handle that? Well, didn't you have another choice? And that doesn't go over well. People get very annoyed when you tell them that they're wrong. People are very used to complaining, and they enjoy complaining, and complaining is a lot of fun, and that's what people want to do. So if you're being reasonable and responsible, then what is everybody else going to do with their blame game? Like, who are they going to blame if they can only blame themselves? Here's what I've learned. Blaming myself is freedom. It is absolute 100% freedom. I know this sounds counterintuitive, but let me explain. If something bad goes on in my life and I have to take 100% responsibility for it, then no one else is making me miserable. No one else is making me sad. No one else is making me angry. No one else is doing anything bad to me. I'm doing it all to myself. That is a mind-blowing concept. But it holds awesome power within it. Because if I really think about it, if I'm the one hurting me, then I'm the one who can stop hurting me instantly. I don't have to ask anyone else's permission to feel better. I don't have to look for anyone, because, let's just break this down real quick before I go any further. When you blame someone outside of yourself, that takes a lot of time and effort and energy, because you have to think about, who is it that I want to blame? And now, what am I blaming them for? And I have to spend a lot of time and energy thinking about that. I've got to get my story straight. I've got to like really concentrate on who I'm blaming, why I'm blaming them, what am I blaming them for. Let's get into exacting detail about how upset I am with this person and exactly what I'm blaming them for. And you know what? You know what's even better? Since I'm so upset about this, I'm going to find someone to talk to about this. I'm going to tell them my victim story. And I'm going to say, do you know what this person did to me? Can you believe what this person did to me? Let me tell you what this person did to me. And I'm going to waste a lot of time and energy talking about what this person did to me and how they victimized me. And then if the good Samaritan I'm talking to, if this good-hearted person, they love me, they care about me, and they're going to say, well, what can we do to make it better? Well, I guess that person's going to have to pay in some way to make me feel better. Whoa, 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 whoa. I have now chained myself to this other person, and my happiness is now dependent on whether or not they do what I want them to do the way I want them to do it when I want them to do it. That's insane. But we do it every day and we act like it's normal. We act like this is acceptable behavior. So let me just say this again. I refuse to be happy until the person I believe wronged me in the way I'm describing does a certain thing a certain way, or says a certain thing a certain way, or pays me an amount of money. And then, and only then, will I be happy. I could be waiting my whole life for that. So you're telling me that some person who I have a grudge against is the holder and keeper and owner of my happiness? That doesn't sound right. It sounds like I just gave my happiness away. I just said to this other person, here you go, take my happiness and keep it locked away from me. I don't want it. I'm not using it. You go ahead and have it. Oh, wait, you don't care about me? You hurt me, you used me, and you moved on, and you don't even think about me, but you have my happiness. And you're just carrying it around with you, and you won't give it back to me. And so if you would just please do what I say and let me manipulate you and let me threaten you and let me do whatever I want to you so you can make me feel happy because you are the keeper of my happiness. See, once you put it that way and you start looking at all the things in your life and you go down your list and you think, there's like 10 people who are the keeper of my happiness. There's like 10 to 12 people in my life right now who are the owner of my happy. I want my happy back. So then you have to really work on this concept of total responsibility. It's an awesome thing to get your head to wrap around. It takes a while. It takes a while to go back over the things that have been bothering you lately and think about, well, what was my part? What did I do? And some people, they're like, well, I was only a kid when that happened, and therefore it is not my fault, and therefore it is that other person's fault, and therefore I will not be happy because I was a kid and I was victimized. And therefore, as an adult, I cannot be happy because someone did something to me when I was a kid. And until they fix it, I'm not going to be happy. So let me get this straight. The person who victimized you, you're giving them your happiness, and you would like them to victimize you again on a daily basis for the rest of your life until they do what you want them to do. So you're going to bully them and force them to do something so that you can be happy. Doesn't that make you as bad as them? And why are you waiting around your whole life to be happy? And why do you need their permission for you to be happy? And aren't you an adult now? And it's not happening to you anymore. All that's in the past, right? So you want to bring it up again right now and feel it all over again as if it's happening right now, and then get this other person to do something else so that you can be happy? I think that's the part that woke me up. I kept hearing every time I struggled with this. I really struggled with this. But I would run the scenario just like I did with these examples. And at the end of it, I would think, I'm going to wait around for my happiness? so then I will be happy. I have to, all these people have to jump through all these hoops and perform all these different ways and give me what I want. So then I will be happy. And then Abraham asked a question that was so simple, it woke me up. Why not just be happy right now? Excuse me? Why would you bring logic into this highly emotional conversation I'm having with myself? I was really enjoying self-victimizing. And as Abraham puts it, arguing for my limitations, I think is a key phrase. And I was arguing to keep myself small and victimized and sad and angry. I had a whole speech prepared. I had stories with absolutely amazing examples that would take a whole day to explain. It was epic. It was marathon. I was just such a victim. And thinking about it, why don't I want to be happy right now? There's nothing stopping me from feeling better right now except me. So I think that was a key turning point. I think that was the moment when I figured out that that I'm the one stopping myself from feeling happy. And then I had to recognize, like, okay, if I'm feeling angry, if I'm feeling embarrassed, if someone took advantage of me and really got one over on me, and I feel stupid because I didn't see it coming. I thought they were a friend, and I didn't recognize that they were using me, and and I didn't recognize at what point did it start to feel bad, that kind of thing. You feel stupid, you feel used, you feel angry. Yeah, I did. I felt stupid and used and angry. I felt embarrassed. But I was like, can't I feel something better now? Because I'm no longer friends with that person. They're not victimizing me anymore because I stood up for myself, because I walked away, because I'm not friends with them anymore. They're not in my life anymore. So why do I keep thinking about them? Why do I keep reenacting what happened through a story, reinforcing the negative, and then feeling it all over again? Why am I doing this to myself? I could just stop. I could just stop thinking about them, stop talking about them, let them move into the part of my brain where they don't exist. They just go away. And all those feelings go away. Now, of course, I'm human and it pops back up every once in a while, and I have to kind of refeel some of those feelings, but it doesn't feel as bad the next time. And sure, someone mentions their name or a story that they're associated with, and I have perspective on it now. It doesn't feel as visceral anymore. It doesn't feel as heated anymore because I stopped. I stopped letting them rent space in my head for free. And I started feeling better. I started to purposefully look at my life and see all the good in it. Instead of focusing on the one thing that was bothering me that went bad, I just stopped looking at it. I stopped focusing on it. I turned my attention to what was right in front of me. Who loves me? Who is good to me? Who is treating me well? What am I doing right in my life? Where am I succeeding? And that became way more important than anything anyone had ever done to me that was bad, quote unquote. And the weirdest thing happened. Number one, I started feeling better. And I mean, like, a lot better. Like, it started out incrementally, a little at a time, and I'd have to distract myself a lot. I'd have to purposefully watch videos on YouTube to distract my brain from negativity. But as I got the hang of it, even in my quiet time, my downtime, my alone time, I'm thinking happier thoughts. I'm feeling happier things. I'm in a better place. So I'm thinking, okay, this is working. And then it got even better when I'm like, okay, now I've got perspective on what's going on in my life. I can see where I made my mistakes, and I can see what part is mine. I can take full responsibility for this horrible whatever thing that happened in my past. I don't have to be a victim to it anymore. So the first step was to just stop thinking about it because I didn't have the right perspective. And the second step was to feel better on purpose, to just reach for a better way of being. So that meant better thoughts and better feelings. So I just focused on what was in front of me. And then after I started to feel better, I gained perspective on what had happened in the past and what my part was in regards to it. So I was really able to gain perspective on it and understand it completely, and then stop feeling bad altogether about it. Stop feeling bad. Then this is the wildest part. I stopped feeling bad about that other person. What that person, who in the beginning, I gave my happiness to that person. I gave my power to that person. And I blamed that person for everything that was going wrong with whatever the topic was, and telling the story about how horrible they had been to me and how, I was just the perfect innocent person and they had taken full advantage of me. And it was character flaw after character flaw after character flaw. So now at the end of this whole process, I'm looking back and I'm thinking about that person and I'm thinking, well, I should have seen that coming. I mean, they're not that bad of a person and they're not that smart of a person. I mean, there's a person. They're just doing whatever they need to do to survive in this world. And we were friends, so they trusted me and I trusted them. And well, obviously things didn't go so well. And I had a part in it. Part of this whole relationship was my responsibility. And I let them down as much as they let me down. I hurt them as much as they hurt me. So maybe I can just forgive them and move on. Maybe I don't have to feel bad about this at all, ever again. And maybe next time I think about them, I'll feel neutral about them. I don't know if I'll ever get to the point where, I really feel good feelings toward them, because we did hurt each other. It got ugly. But maybe I can just be neutral. And that's what happened. It's exactly what happened. As I took more and more responsibility and relaxed into my part, it released the energy that I had, that it was like holding like a tractor beam between me and this other person. And I was just holding on. And once I let go, now if I think about them, I don't care. They can do whatever they want. That's their life. This is mine. I'm completely neutral. There's no energy about it, one way or the other. There's no hate. There's no love. It's just meh. But what I do know at the end of the day is that I'm happy. I'm happy no matter what. They can live their life and do whatever they want with whoever they want, however they want, and it doesn't affect me at all. And I'm over here living my best life, and I'm happy. Happier than I've ever been, because that's what I'm focused on. I'm focused on making sure I'm happy. So then it comes full circle. This will blow your mind. Then I'm thinking about the relationship, and why it went bad was because I kept trying to make them happy so that I would feel happy. Because I was hanging out with someone who was complaining all the time and giving me nothing but excuses. So instead of working on myself and saying to this person, well, you are lovely and our friendship means everything to me and I've got to go. I am just suddenly very busy. So you do you, babe. You go live your best life and I'm going to be over here living my best life, and maybe we'll catch lunch sometime. And then just don't give them time of day anymore. Because now I hear with different ears. And now if I hear a person complaining all the time and making excuses all the time, I don't fix them. I don't give them money. I don't buy them anything. I do not interfere in their life and that whole victim story anymore. And it's funny, now that I've shifted, the people around me are just not like that anymore. I don't attract people like that anymore. I don't have people around me who complain all the time and make excuses all the time. The people who are around me reflect in on themselves just like I do and take responsibility just like I do. And they're talking about solutions just like I do. And they're going places and they're doing things and they're improving every day and they are happy. And I'm happy too. I'm happy and they're happy, and I didn't have to make them happy. I did nothing but just show up, and they're like, hey, you're awesome. We like you. You're fun. You're cool. We love hanging out with you. We love having fun with you. Sure, I want to collaborate on that project with you. That sounds like fun. See, when two people who are in a good mood get together and do something fun, more fun is had. But I am not depending on them for my happiness, and I'm not blaming them if anything goes wrong. It's so freeing. It's just so freeing. So now let's just recap, because we've been talking about a lot of stuff. When I take full responsibility for myself and I keep my nose out of other people's business and I let them take full responsibility for themselves, and I'm worrying only about my own happiness, which means I'm not worrying at all. It means I'm focused on whatever is in front of me that I'm grateful for and that makes me happy. And then I want that to multiply. I want that to grow. I want to keep doing what makes me happy. I want to keep seeing, where can this go? How much fun can I have? And the people who complain, I'm just not listening the same way anymore. Now, we started this conversation by saying some people might be, around you complaining about their life, their job, their lack of money, their lack of a love relationship, or something in the economy or going on that's political. And you want to know, all right, once I shift and I'm happy, how do I deal with these people, most of whom I'm related to, when they're going to go on and on and on about all these things and complain all day long, and I can't get away from them. I can't just drop them like a friend. I got to really be in their life and they're in mine. I didn't think I could do this, but this is actually what I've been doing, and it's working like a charm. I listen to them as I do children. I know this is so insulting, but it works every time. If a 5-year-old comes up to me and says, well, I was at school today and we had a pony and I rode the pony, but my friend wouldn't let me ride the pony and I got mad at her. And then I said, hey, you can't be mean, you got to share the pony. And then the teacher said, yeah, you got to share the pony. And then they shared the pony. So then it was fun. And then we made a unicorn horn for the pony because we wanted to ride a unicorn. And that's what it sounds like to me. Anyone who's talking about anything that I don't want to hear, I remember the unicorn pony story. And I just made it up in my head and I thought, that's a funny story. And any 5-year-old would definitely tell me that story, because I probably told somebody that story when I was 5 years old. And I just listen. I listen with the kindest heart and the most open ears. And I must not have the facial expressions that they want while they're telling me their victim story, because they don't talk to me for very long. They'll be talking and talking, and I'm like, well, things happen. Well, the world, it's crazy. Well, everything works out in the end, so. Oh, and people get so mad at me. Don't you care? Why aren't you upset? You should be angry about this and focused on this. Well, I don't want any more of it, so I think I won't focus on it. I think I am aware of it. I've read the news. There's not much there for me, but I've got a lot of good stuff right here in front of me. Right here in front of my life, I've got enough to keep me busy. I got everything right here. So, you know what? If I'm not directly affected by that today, I don't think I'm going to give it any energy. I think I'm going to leave it alone. I think I'm just going to be like, there are more qualified people to handle that than me. That doesn't mean that if someone is hurt in front of me, I wouldn't help. It also doesn't mean that I stopped voting. I mean, I'm not, that's practical. That's still my right. I have my own opinions. I can go exercise them, but that means I allow everyone to exercise their rights and their opinions, and I don't interfere. Just because I disagree does not give me any right to get in their way. Now, of course, there are exceptions, and you can put it in the chat. You can talk to me about, well, what if someone's life is in danger? Well, come on now. Obviously, we got to do what's right if someone's life is in danger. Well, what if they're breaking the law? Call the police. Get a lawyer. I'm not the police and I'm not a lawyer, so obviously I'm not going to get directly involved if someone is actively doing something to break the law, I'm going to do the same thing you are. I'm going to call the police. So this is like a no-brainer. There's really nothing going on directly in your life right this second that you have to get all crazy about. You can have an opinion and you can be active in politics or active in your community, but you don't have to tell me in a really intense way what your opinion is. I don't want to get that energy all riled up. We can just do it calm and you can state your opinion. And then I'm like, okay, I got you. Got it. I see where you're coming from. And I'm not going to tell you my opinion because I don't want to waste my time and energy on that. Because I have things right in front of me that are so much more important, that are so much bigger, that are so much better than anything that the outside world, with all its negativity, could ever offer me. Now, if someone's doing something right, I will pay attention to it and praise it and maybe tell that story again. Like, hey, this went really right. And this is pretty awesome. And you need to hear about this. And hey, this person's doing this great thing. And this person's doing this great thing. Because as much negativity as there is in the economy or politics, if you look for it, there's also a lot of good going on. There's a lot of positive things happening in the economy and in politics. But if all you ever focus on is the negative, that's all you're ever going to see. And maybe it's just because it's from your point of view and you don't like the other point of view. And I am not talking about having civil liberties stripped of any citizens' rights or anything. I'm not saying that. Again, that's illegal and it goes in the illegal category. And then we have lawyers taking care of that, right? There you go. And we have judges taking care of that. So all of that gets fleshed out and worked out and, sorted out in the wash, as they say. But I'm not a politician. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a police officer. I have limited power, limited ability. So I'll do what I can in my little, neck of the woods. But I truly believe that I have more power as a private citizen in my community within probably my 5 to 8 mile radius. I have more power than I do nationally. I can affect more positive change right here in my neighborhood, right here in my community. And if everyone did that, that's how we would make positive changes all over the world. If everyone just concentrated on what's right in front of them and focused on the good right in front of them and made sure that they were happy, safe and sound and happy. And it takes some effort to be happy. I focus on what makes me happy every single day. And sometimes what makes me happy is taking care of my family or cleaning my house or doing a really great job on the job. You see, there's very practical ways that I feel happiness. And then there are very nice, indulgent ways that I feel happiness, like a really hot shower, like listening to my favorite music. So some things are really easy to make me happy, like I'm in the car and I'm driving and I'm singing along to my favorite songs and I'm ecstatically happy. It's so simple. Just some music made me happy. And then other times, cooking a big meal for my family makes me so happy. I was hanging out with my family today, just hanging out, having a great conversation, enjoying the cool breeze. It was such a beautiful sunset and a beautiful day, a beautiful moment. And here I am just laughing and talking with my family, and we were having a great time. I was so happy. It was awesome. So simple things make us happy when we allow them to. When we get really caught up in anxiety and worry, and it can easily lead to depression. So why choose to focus on that when you can choose to focus on things that make you feel good? And here we are again, right where we started this conversation. The only way you can do that is to take full and complete responsibility for yourself. And stop worrying so much about what everybody else is doing or saying. And I'm not telling you to be naive. I'm sure you can figure out what I'm saying. And if not, well then, you better get on my next live and interact with me and give me some questions, and I will be happy to answer them. Also, if you miss a live, you can watch the VOD, and then it's also going to show up on YouTube, and you can DM me, you can comment. So feel free, if you miss an opportunity and you have a really big question, something that's confusing you or an experience that's going on, leave a comment. I read those and I will definitely answer you as best I can in the comment, and then I'll bring it up on the next live and I will tackle that question. I'll tackle that problem for you. So really, I'm trying to touch on the big ideas of how I manifest bliss for myself every day. And I'm living this. This is really my real life. I'm really doing this in everyday practical ways. And I followed the teachings of Abraham Hicks and this guy, really cool guy named Quasi. You can search for him on YouTube, search for Abraham Hicks on YouTube. And these are the videos that keep me positive, that keep me in the right frame of mind. And I have learned so much from them, that I joined Quasi's community, and I've got some really great friends who are just as positive as I am. So you really need to change the way, once you change the way you see, you change your perspective, you need to, well, let me start over. Stop with the need to, right? See, I catch myself. This is my new way of living. I'm like, wait, I'm not saying this the right way because that's not true. Need to is not true. Once you're in alignment and you're feeling better and you understand how to allow yourself to feel happy and allow others to feel happy, and you are focusing on the positive, you simply attract people who are doing the same thing, and you have better conversations and you're happier. So you realize you have more fun. And now I'm a part of communities online and in person with people who are just like me, incredibly positive, and we're problem solvers because we're looking for solutions, not problems. We're totally aware of the problems, but we're looking for solutions. Einstein said you cannot create a solution with the same mind that created the problem. You won't be able to see it. He's right. It's all about your perspective. So relativity, yes, absolutely. And once I'm looking for the solution, I see it. And that's the whole point of this channel. It's the whole point of the way I live. And it's the whole point of manifesting bliss, is to focus on the solutions. Focus on what is going right. Focus on what you are grateful for. And that is where your happiness lives. So as long as you are living in that space, you are going to feel your happiness. And sometimes happiness comes as satisfaction, relaxation, fulfillment. Sometimes it's excitement and joy and all that ecstasy of like excitement. But sometimes it's just, I am really happy. And most of the time it's, wow, I am so happy not to be arguing with that person. I am not engaging in that conversation the way I used to. And now I'm having a much more effective conversation, a much more positive conversation. And we're talking about a solution instead of hearing the never-ending problem. I'm done with that conversation. I'm in the solution. And that means I'm manifesting my bliss. So that was a lot to take in. So I'm going to leave you with that for now. And I'll look for questions, and I'll see what comes up tomorrow with the people in my community, and whatever theme is happening, I'll bring it to you and share with you. But feel free to contact me and let me know how it's going for you, and we'll figure this out together. Happiness is one of the keys to happiness and manifesting bliss is community. We need each other, and we should be bringing our best. So think about these ideas, watch the VOD again, go over it again, and really, and on YouTube, you can download it, favorite it, go back to it again and again. It does take some time. So if you need to watch these a few times to really get it, I highly recommend. And not just mine, search out other people. I'm just one of many. And if you feel like I want to do this, I want to understand this, and then I want to do this, yes, you can. And yes, you should. The world needs you. So I'm hoping that I'm helping, and your participation helps me to help more. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for participating. And I hope you'll come back and do it again. Until next time, be well.